Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we're checking out the Weimar post-nerf. Weimar, how did it get nerfed? Well, it got moved up a tier. But check this out. This is a little bit curious. There's no slot 4 mod on this. It does have a heal. I can't remember if it used to have heals or not, but I don't know. Put a tier 4 mod on there, please. Anyway, this game, we got a two brothers match. It's judging by the title of the video, you can tell there's going to be some goofy plays, but I think it's overall pretty good demonstration of what the Weimar is going up against. Now, previously it was a tier 6, so the highest it could really reach was tier 7. Now, being a tier 7, currently it can go up against legendaries, as well as tier 8s, which will always be the case, tier 7s and potentially tier 6s. But until enough tier 8 ships start populating the high seas that they remove the +2, -2 on that end, we're going against some very powerful ships. Now, Weimar, capable of putting out a lot of damage. I played about 5 games tonight to test this one out and see how it's doing the current. I got over 100k, I think twice. Once, I think I got killed pretty early, and then the other games was kind of a mixture in the middle. So, it's still capable of putting out a lot of damage. And I think the highest I got was like 128 or something. Again, small sample size. But that is 4 times our ship's HP and damage. So you definitely still have the high damage output capabilities. The problem is, especially if we're facing legendary tiers, the higher up these ships, the tiers, the more accurate the guns, and if people are hitting this ship, well, it doesn't survive very long. So we got to be really focused on utilizing island cover. Of course, as a solo player, that can be dicey. We are relying on our team's spotting, which we will see to open this match. If it's not done very well, that's going to limit our abilities and our options. Okay, so we're trying to get over to these far islands here. I like to get the cruisers on these wings on this map, really present a new angle of attack, and you can kind of island hop down, and eventually you'll be shooting into the base. So even though this map, a lot of times the ships will play kind of close to the spawns, if you can get close enough to engage those guys safely, it can be quite a strong position. So that's the opening play here. Gneisenau getting shot. We are getting spotted here. Not by the Gneisenau. Might as well start shooting, but we do need to get behind this island. Now, this Riegerwald guy, I think is he available right now? I think he's available. Pretty good commander, and we really boost the AP. He's got an AP pen perk, and I think it's a reload or whatever. So overall, pretty good commander, but there is no ingenious options. We got a slower traverse than I would like, and we're not really being notified via the number next to that spotting icon if we are being actively targeted. So you do have to be very careful. Okay, we're continuing to be spotted here. You could either be directly south or towards that Akatsuki, who's of course not spotting while sitting in the cloud. In fact, he's not really doing much of anything. So I'm not really sure what the play is there. Nevertheless, not contented to sit here for the next 3 minutes while nothing happens. We're going to go ahead and try and engage this thing. Now, again, if this Gneisenau hits us, it's not going to take a lot to take this ship down. So we're trying to be careful here. Luckily, the Gneisenau did eat a torp. He's got a fire here. We're going to go over to switch to the AP now. Whenever we get these broadside targets, battleships, cruisers, go ahead and switch. We're going to be getting 5,000 a lot of these shots, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. But juicy shots that will kill the Gneisenau very quickly. In fact, even if he's being willed to rebuilded and granted infinite health, this type of damage output can get rid of those ships. Again, if we're broadside, if he's angled towards us, he's pointed at us, pointing away from us, we do need to switch to the HE, which I believe is the same as the German HE, which has good penetration, but a little bit lower damage. So we prefer to use the AP whenever possible. All right, and then the German cruisers in general, that's a good rule of thumb. That's really where they shine. Okay, we got Atlanta over here. Yeah, all right, 1v1 Atlanta plus the destroyer. We got to keep an eye on that. We do have the plane flying around, hoping to spot torp / the destroyer. We do have the sonar, again, trying to spot these torp / destroyer. We did see a salvo over there towards our group that's just kind of hanging out in spawn. So, we probably got a little bit of time until this destroyer's able to engage us. Here comes another Atlanta, and the forecast definitely calls for golden showers at this point in time. And look at that, the AA going off over there, shooting at the plane that I think we got flying around. So we know the destroyer is relatively close, not close enough to spot him, but here we get the early warning about the torps due to the sonar being active, and it's relatively easy to dodge. So the sonar on these German cruisers, outstanding. It's one of the best features of the ships. Again, it's very helpful for catching destroyers. If you get them in your sonar web, they're going to have a hard time getting out of there alive. And if they're still far enough away that we can't really spot them via the sonar, well, at least hopefully we'll be getting some warning about those torpedoes helping us to survive those onslaughts. So Atlanta here will kind of be switching shells off back and forth. Now Atlanta very thinly armored, so it's worth trying these AP shots, even if he's kind of angled there. He's at about a 45 degree, judging by the map. So trying to aim up a little bit at that superstructure. That'll get us a little bit more damage, but still nice hardy salvos. The destroyer, or the battleship, sorry, over here, the Philander, also chiming in as well. So if we can get him off, that would even the fight. Luckily, they're both kind of piling on the battleship, at least for the moment. But if we can get rid of one of these, then we'll regain the numerical advantage. And we're getting a lot of knocked out guns here in the Atlanta. Trying to get him down here. He's trying to disengage with his last dying breath. But boom, the Philander sneaks a shot through there, and he gets him. So we go ahead and switch over to this Atlanta. Need to start thinking about, I should probably be popping this plane, in fact. A little bit of a mistake here. Starting to get the, the internal warning torpedoes likely, and here they are. Now, the guy had moved to the right-hand side of the screen, more the center of this side. It's a little bit more of a crossfire shot on there, and wicked damage there. So, pretty problematic in terms of overall health. We're down below half our ship's health at this point in time. Looks like about 40%, give or take. Dude, want this Atlanta off. We don't want to let these guys disengage. Here's more shots coming from the left here, and there is our guy. He's outside of the torpedo range. Destroyer, I don't know, he's bored. The match is almost half over, so he's definitely trying to kill himself here. Why not? Let's start shooting an Atlanta and a Wichita with a destroyer undercover. That's a sound play. So we're not really looking at the side saying to ourselves, okay, we got some valuable strategic teammates or objectives over here. The destroyer kills himself. There's nothing I can do, but I'm not going to try and die as well. So we're trying to disengage here. We also do have an attack on the base. You can see a battleship, and I believe he's accompanied by a destroyer as well. So we got a nice sound ship lead, and we want to try and maintain that. But if they're actually getting on the base, that's going to freeze that scoring in the background. 2 points every 5 seconds. And, it's not a lot, but if they even up the ship count towards the end, which they will, that score can make a difference. So we currently got about a 14-point lead. Nelson in trouble. Are we going to be able to get over there by the time he goes down? Probably not. But again, I can't really win a fight against a full health Wichita when he's going to get spotting, and my destroyer over there is somewhat low. So you can make a case we should be supporting the destroyer over there. But again, I don't think that's a situation where we can survive. And at this point in time, I'm looking at the game saying to ourselves, okay, well, we have a nice firm lead in terms of score, and in this situation, strategy dictates that we're going to play more passively and kind of defend. And we do have most of our ships remaining in this base here. So, if we were on the comms with the team, we would try and explain to people, let's just stay back, let them push into us. Often that would be one at a time, and then we can just focus fire them, kill them, or even if they come around in force, we're still going to have a numerical advantage. So that would be a textbook play here to make our destroyer, dogfighting the enemy destroyer down there. I don't think he's likely going to win that. So that situation can be a problem. Here's the other destroyer we were trying to move in here. Kept checking the base, seeing is it contested or not. It wasn't. So we knew he wasn't on the base, but I had kind of a hunch because we started to be notified that we were located, which means we're the closest ship to him, and he's got one of the twist and track perks on his ship build. I knew he was probably pretty close, right? Because, just judging on where our teammates were positioned, it just seemed like a likely outcome. So Akatsuki takes a nice shot from the battleship over here. We don't want the battleship to go down. That's a 100-point swing, and we're only up by about 10 points, or 110 points. So if he goes down, they're going to be very close to having the lead in this game. And that's with the 2-ship lead, keep in mind. So things can get a little bit dicey here. The Akatsuki does get him with a torp. Unfortunate. It happens. But again, he was asking for my help. I did turn around to try and support him, but charging out into a situation where the destroyer can just spot you and the Wichita can use cover, burn down your Philander with about 20k health, probably not necessary. Speaking of not necessary, let's not send a low health destroyer into the base where we have no idea where the enemy is. We did see the Vlad going right through the mouth there a moment ago, and we also see a fighter plane flying right around the mouth of the island. So the Vlad doesn't seem like he's very far off to me. So this to me looks like a complete throw at this point in time. We got a one-shot Cossack and then whatever the cruisers behind him. And Shiratsuyu, what's the play here we're going to make? We're going to rush into the Wichita. Wichita, of course, has very fast-firing guns, has radar, has sonar. And sure, let's open water, gun him down. Now, I'm checking the health. Looks like about a 6,000 HP Shiratsuyu versus what, 40,000, 35,000 HP Wichita. I guess he's got 10,000 health, so no wonder he's feeling confident. But this is not a fight that you would win more than once out of 500 times. The game is designed for that to not work. All right, so just more evidence that, the players just don't, either they don't care about winning in this particular instance, or they just don't understand, or they haven't really checked the map, the game situation, and figured themselves what would be the most likely play to make that would result in a win. So anyway, both teams kind of somewhat questionable plays. Now we do have the destroyer and the cruiser escort actually on the base, and they've begun capturing it. And it seems the Vlad was last seen. There he is on the map right there. He's heading over here. Well, what's going on here? You're in position to defend the base. By the time you get over here, the game's going to be nearly over anyways. And then there's the destroyer popped up on the south side of that cap. So opportunities abound. Just kind of both teams not really necessarily doing what they need to do. Wichita's doing fine, and boom, here's the Vlad. Here's what he was trying to do. Wichita does get me. So, sure, that actually puts them in the lead. But here, the undefended, unsupported Akatsuki, he also goes down, and the lead once again goes back in our favor. All right, so at this point in time, the destroyer is probably, he's just left the cloud and he's going right towards the Vlad, who's 4 kilometers away. So I mean, he basically conceded. It can be difficult when you're sitting in the cloud and you're pointing towards those guys, especially low duration Japanese clouds. You turning around and getting out of there can be difficult. I understand that, but I would have tried to do that by backing up and going forward a couple times rather than just rushing out there and killing ourselves. So we are down. And here we're shooting. This is when I begin to get really nervous here, because this guy's spotting the battleship. If he shoots, the battleship can spot him right back. Here comes the Wichita chiming in, and both ships are now turning around, coming back towards the base. And we always do advocate having a preference for base defense in capture the base mode rather than trying to capture the base unless the situation dictates. So Vlad and Wichita both going back to defend the base in this point in time. Atlanta, I'm like, oh my God, if he gets off the base, this is a disaster. But he makes a brilliant play here. He's actually moving as far away to the edge of the cap, thinking to himself, even if this destroyer kills himself here or gets killed by becoming detected and being shot, well, I can kind of hide behind here and continue to capture the base. They have 2 minutes. And really the only play Red has at this point in time is to get a ship on the base, freeze the capture, and then sink everyone. Okay, so as long as the Jervis doesn't kill himself, we're going to be capturing very rapidly. And the Atlanta, kind of an insurance policy. The Wichita, fast ship, he might be able to get back if they kill the Jervis, which would have about half the base capture points roughly pocketed. At that point in time, I think the Wichita would have a pretty decent chance getting here, and I think Red would have a pretty decent chance of winning the game. Wisely, both of them stop shooting, and they go ahead and capture the base. So, interesting game dynamics there. A good look at Capture the Base and Two Brothers. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming for you all the time. Questions, comments, link below, and we'll see y'all later, please.